Let's get ready to shred. Hey, Roger, welcome. For all those of you guys that are just first timers, as you know, I do webinars every couple of weeks. And so some of you guys will follow some stuff, some of you guys won't. But I think this one is a good one just because, we are starting off a new year. We're in the first quarter, and this is going to be something important. But beyond that, one of the things that I personally notice about what's happening in the markets, but just what's happening in the world is due to the coronavirus, but then the shift that's happening in the world that's beyond the coronavirus. See, the one thing that the coronavirus taught us was that probably nobody should be really going to work unless they need to be in a factory, in a lab, in a hospital, so on and so forth. But that 99% of us don't do shit for work. Like my sister, she's a finance director at Netflix. She don't gotta go work no more. You know why? She don't do shit. Nothing, right? So that's where, it's very, very important to just roll in and realize that the world is changing. Beyond that, there are an influx of people that are sitting at home and wondering what the heck to do with their money. How can they grow? So you're getting a lot of people coming into the trading world, but they don't really understand what it takes, what strategies that maybe they need to really focus on. If you go on like YouTube or Instagram or whatever it might be, right? I mean, it's going to be full of just hucksters out there. And so it's hard to really get a gleam of what we need to do. So what I want to talk to you about today is what it takes to go from somebody that's brand new to full-time trader. But more importantly than that, what are some strategies that you could use today? What are some tools that you could use today to get this thing going? What can I learn today where I turn it on later and I'm ready to go? So let's get into it. All right, let's get into it. And by the way, welcome everybody. For those of you guys that are just brand new, I really appreciate it that you're coming in. And for those of you guys that have always come in, I always appreciate it. I've been doing these webinars now. This is what year are we in? 21. So this is 13 years of webinars. 13 years of webinars. It's wild, right? You would never guess it, right? Because everybody on social media is now got pimples, and they turn $500 into $5 million. But there are some of us that just actually work for a living and do these. Agenda for tonight. Number one, starting out as a trader, where to begin? What do we got to do? Of course, there's some myths out there, but how do we build a foundation? Setting expectations, what do we have to expect? What do we have to expect throughout your learning curve? So much of education, online education, is about okay, I buy this, therefore I'm going to have XYZ relatively quickly. And I'm actually sadly, I'm guilty of it too. So, people buy a trading class, they think, oh, I'll be $1 million. No, you pay $1,000 for something doesn't mean anything. I've done the same thing. You ever buy fitness programs or stuff online? I'm oh man, if I buy this guy's, nutrition plan, I'm going to be having 6-pack abs. And it's oh shit. In 2 weeks, doesn't work like that. As my dad will tell you, there is no Indian in the world, especially a Gujarati, that has a 6-pack abs. Okay, the only way you can get a 6-pack abs is if you take your stomach and then you shave from your body hairs, and then you can have a nice abdominals of body hair. That's it. Right? But a lot of times we buy something, we think like, okay, this is it. So setting expectations. Number 3, best trading strategies for new traders. I'm going to give you a couple low risk, high reward trading strategies that I use, but that I noticed from my students over the years that it's just something that speaks to them in terms of the layers of complexity are a little bit less, but it's like they're just easier to see. There's a lot of trading strategies out there, but the key is like, especially when you're new, it's good to build a foundation, then layer on some real simple strategies where you can make just some dollars and start building up your confidence, your bankroll, and then you start adding in a little bit more complexity. What often happens with very new traders, and also, and this is where it gets really, more deceptive, is it's, a lot of advertising in the trading business is built on deceiving people that have limited capital. So what happens is that there's complex trading strategies. I'm going to trade these type of penny stocks. That's actually a very complex strategy that is low reward. I'm going to do these options. I'm going to do this. Those are all things that are designed, and I trade all these things, but those things are all designed to take advantage of people that have limited amount of capital and have this belief that they need to turn into a large amount of capital very, very soon. And so what I'm going to give you is a couple simple trading strategies that you can make $100 from, $150 from. And then we build on that. But like, if you're like, if you're trying to get in, you got $2,000, you're like, I need to make 2,000. I got $2,000 in cash. I need to make $2,000 in my next trade. That's not going to work. You're more likely actually to go to zero than to actually double it, statistically. Number 4, trading with a job. How to manage commitments from your work, but also just commitments from life. Some of you guys gonna have kids. Some of you guys, most of you guys are traders, so you're not gonna have girlfriends, but right? You gotta have stuff to do. So how do we manage all this? Like, I built my trading career, a good chunk of it from while I was working. I knew I had to save money, I had to have expenses, so on and so forth. So I kept working while I was trading, and still like very profitable for multiple years before I quit my job. I don't know if that's like in today's day, that's a necessity because there's so much more remote work and there's like so many other things you can do. But like some of it still holds true, like what I had to do. I think it'll still be impactful. Number 5, habits for consistency. How to achieve consistency as a trader. And then last but not least, how to advance yourself as a trader, how to shorten your learning curve. As always, stick around to the end. I'll do a Q&A. I will make sure I answer everybody's questions. And by the way, if you guys have questions, save them. Save them till the end, because like when they come in hot, like during the webinar, I can't see them because they're coming in too hot. But my buddy Josh, he's in there. He'll probably answer them, but I do love actually personally answering them myself. So wait till the end. I'll do a Q&A, and as always, I'll have a little bit of a gift for you guys. Let's get to work. Let's do what I do. As you guys know, I am the head janitor of this place, Bulls on Wall Street, Bulls on Crypto Street. I've been trading stocks now professionally for over 10 years, since 2008. I actually started to attempt this stuff. I'm not even going to tell you, no, hold on. But I actually started to do this stuff in my college days, which have been the early 2000s. So it's been a long, it's been a long run. I've been trading cryptocurrencies for the last 3 years. I've actually had my two biggest trades ever. My first $1 million trade, and it was actually in cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies is a tricky little bastard, but the opportunities in cryptocurrencies is above and beyond probably what you'll see in the stock market. Currently, it changes month to month, but for the next few months, it's above and beyond what you will see in the stock market times 10. You probably have already started to notice 90% of cryptocurrencies have gone up 1,000% in the last 6 months. I'm not joking. 1,000%. That's some moves. Now, the strategies that we use in the stock market, we also use in cryptocurrency. So there is a little bit of an overlap. Forex, no money in it. That's the problem with Forex. Yeah, the patterns are all the same, no money in it. This is the thing about Forex. Let me tell you about Forex. Forex, why a lot of educators gravitate towards it and why students gravitate towards it. Stocks, futures, cryptos, they are all governed by different regulating bodies. In Forex, it's very, I would say, unregulated in a manner that you can basically say whatever it is that you want and to advertise for Forex. So, and the second part is that a Forex broker, especially one that's like overseas or wherever, you can open an account in Forex for $50. Well, all that $50 is just a donation to the broker. It's like if you were buying a subscription to me and giving me $50 to learn something, it'd be no different. There is 0 instances, and you can open Forex brokers with $50. There is 0 instances in humanity where somebody took a Forex account and turned $1 million. Or even $100, $200. You never hear of multi-millionaire Forex legends, right? Like it doesn't happen. So Forex is the one thing I don't do. Forex is a scam. It is also built on multi-level marketing. And yes, you can trade 24 hours a day, but who cares? I can also prostitute myself for 24 hours a day, right? Just because you can trade for 24 hours didn't mean anything. It's actually a hindrance. So if you want to trade 24 hours a day, trade the cryptocurrencies. You got more moves. It's going to be safer for you, and you can take smaller amounts of capital and go. You can't show me, nobody can tell me and show me one actual trader that makes money at Forex. There's no such thing. No such thing. And it's always built on multi-level marketing. I've been a speaker at events all around the world, and I trade the best style of trading. The style of trading I do has no gimmicks. You can use it in stocks. You can use it in cryptocurrency. You can even use it in options. I trade a momentum-based trading style that is designed to hop on trends when they start and use specific momentum techniques to get in to low risk trades with small risk, low risk trades for bigger moves. So number one, starting out as a trader. I mean, yeah, by the way, guys, I right now can go and buy 1 million followers on Instagram and pay somebody to leave like 5,000 comments. Like if the trader's getting his business from Instagram, he ain't no good. Number one, starting out as a trader. Let's just get into the boots and coots of this, all right? Starting as a trader, there's a handful of things that you need to do. I think this is going to be real important. Number one is like, what are your goals? Like, what are you trying to do? What are your goals? What are you trying to do? What I mean by that is that there's day traders, like people that trade in and out all day. There's swing traders, people that hold stocks maybe 5 days, 10 days, 15 days. Primarily in the stock market, I day trade. In the cryptocurrency market, because you get huge moves, you get huge moves, right? You get 30, 40, 50% moves sometimes in a week on stocks and in coins, I should say. So I swing trade those because the range is there. It's a less established market, so you have more opportunity for elongated gains. But also because it's a newer market, it's harder to day trade because you don't have the liquidity. And then number 3 is like investor, right? Like, hey, I buy XYZ because I believe it's a good company. I just hold for years. That is one thing I don't do for really anything except actual businesses and real estate. Investor in terms of like I'm going to buy something and hold it for 10 years. I don't know if that the stock market is a good game for that. Of course, there's a litany of people that you'll read about in trading books that held XYZ stock for 10 years and made a bunch of money as an investor. But that is not my wheelhouse. It's just not my wheelhouse. That is actually the hardest wheelhouse, I think, and also the lowest reward. And the reason for that is that through the years, I was saying so I've been trading all this time. Almost every time me or smart friends or people, we thought like XYZ could be the next big thing. 1 out of 10 times it is. There's a lot of things I thought were going to be the next big thing that just weren't the next big thing. So like taking a guess on that is no good. As a trader, like I'm a technical trader, meaning I play my trades based on price action and trends. And so if trends don't hold, I just get it. And I find that's a much more effective way because the odds of us being, looking in there and tearing apart a company and be like, this is the next big thing is very, very small. I've seen very, very smart people look at some stocks and they tear it apart and they're like, oh, this is, they make organic gas, whatever, organic fuel, whatever. I had a guy, smartest guy, one of the smartest guys, worth tens of millions of dollars. He says, hey, like this company, they can take, your leftover vegetables and meat bones or whatever and turn it into fucking organic fuel. He's like, I'm all in on this thing. That thing in it was zero. Like it happens. You need to define what you're trying to do. Am I trying to make daily income? That's a big part of what I do as a day trader. I want to make daily income. I want to make $5,000, $10,000 a day, whatever it might be. $2,000 a day, $500 a day, $50 a day. I want to make daily income consistently. Swing trading is okay. I'm looking for those 3 to 5 day momentum bursts. And then investor is like, okay, I'm Warren Buffett. I want to be like Warren Buffett, Phoebe Buffett's older brother. Right? I want to hold a stock for 40 to 80 years, 40 to 70 years, and not 80 years, 40 to 70 years. And then at the end, I want to cash out and give that money to charity. And I want to drink cherry Cokes all day. Those are your kind of options. Now, the second part you want to ask yourself is what type of stocks will you trade? You might trade penny stocks. Penny stocks. Yeah, yes, but Warren Buffett is also 97 years old. Hey, if you want to wait till you're 100 years old before you start shredding some hot women's, ride around some limos, have some fun, go ahead. I'm trying to make a little money right now. Come on. I personally, I have no goals to be a billionaire or anything like that. I want to have some fun. I want to make some money. I want to take care of my family. That's it. Like, I have simple goals. I need boats. I need cars. I need friends. I want to take care of parents, right? Like these are, do something nice for family. That's it. How much else do you need? So I'll go into what type of stocks you will trade. Am I going to trade penny stocks? large cap stocks, so on and so forth. The type of stocks that you'll trade will actually change depending on where you're actually good. Like when I start out my students, like we trade all types of stocks, and then we look for places where they have strength. So what we do is essentially we use a tool called Trader View, I should have said. I apologize. We use the called Trader View. And what we're able to do is from there, like we can start to see like what type of, so you can like build reports and stuff, and you can do all this like interesting stuff over there. But like what'll actually end up happening is like when you start getting into this stuff, like you'll start to see exactly like where you need to go. So what I mean by that is like, so like, for example, like if we're going into like my, like even my personal trades, right? So what I'm able to see, like I want to dumb this all down by debt. So like I want to see like, okay, what type of stocks, I want to see like what type of stocks I trade well. So like, Trader View, like you can see performance by price, right? So like, okay, I made a little bit of money under $2, a little bit of money 2 to 4, right? But like my sweet spot seems to be like 20 to 49, 50 to 99. This is like the last 30 days, right? But like, if we wanted to elongate this a little bit, and we want to elongate this a little bit and see like what I'm trading well, I want to see like the details of it. Like, where am I making my money? So you start to see like, okay, these are the sweet spots of like where somebody makes their money. And I think that's actually really, really important. Like you want to figure out what type of stocks you trade and where that money is made. That's the biggest thing I think that you can personally do. So we want to figure out what type of stocks you'll trade. So your data will tell you that. Your data will tell you that. I think Josh, he's like friends with the guys at Trader View or whatever. He sent you some links to use it. What is your go-to trading setup? This is actually the most important part. I think the most important part is like your go-to trading setup. And what I mean by that is like, you want to go through and start to figure out like, okay, I trade XYZ really well. So like I have access to like all my students' trades and all this kind of stuff. So like I can start to see on any given basis, like, okay, what is XYZ doing? So like this is like Shreyas, he's one of like my new students. Just young guy, awesome dude. He's got potential. And so like if I hit tag breakdown, I can start to see, okay, like this is what he makes on XYZ trade. Like we see when he has like trades that he does that have no patterns, no names, he actually ends up losing. But on all the other ones, it's like he pretty much wins, right? He's a very new trader, young man. He's 30s, works at Intel. Like he's pretty good at all these other trades. It's only when he like takes a guessing game and just buys something to buy something. Like you see, like he's got this like earnings set up here. He does really, really well. But any other, when he just guesses, he doesn't do well. So we want to figure out like what is your go-to trading setup. If I'm a day trader, I want to find the best trading setup I can do as a day trader. If I'm a swing trader, I want to find the best trading setup that I can do as a swing trader. Does that make sense? Good. And I'll show you how to do some of that. Then next part, we want to pick the right broker. I use E-Trade Pro for a majority of my trades. I use E-Trade Pro. It's fast, it's easy, so on and so forth. I keep an account at Ameritrade because it's the biggest of the brokers too. And it's also a nice, easy one. The amazing thing that I think is that has helped and that's changed in the world is that brokers now offer free commissions. Like when I started trading, we paid $10 per trade. You know how hard it is to make money when your trades are $10? It's a near impossibility. It's a near thing. You have a small account, right? You might only get like $20, $30 of profit on a trade, and you're spending $10 each way to execute. That's gonna be tough. Now the brokers are free. All of them are free, by the way. So I use E-Trade, Ameritrade, but it's all the same shit. You interact with brokers, Schwab, so on and so forth. The reason I use E-Trade and Ameritrade is I like E-Trade Pro's platform, and Ameritrade I've just been using since 1999. I would say, but 1999. All right, it's a legacy account. Good. Other things that you want to like think about when you're starting to trade is really like how much cash can you lose, right? Before you really take a step back. Now there's two different types. If you have no education, you don't even know what you're doing, the amount of cash you can lose is probably, it doesn't really matter because you're doing a YOLO. Right? At that point, you're doing a YOLO. If you've had some training, some education, you still need to pick a number of how much cash you can lose before you take a break. All right? Everything is about risk management. So for me, at some point, like if I've lost 25% of my account, right, I'm probably taking a 1 week break. I'm going to rewatch my classes, redo some studying, talk to some professionals, right? If I lost 50% of my account, I'm probably taking a multi-week break to slow the pain train down. The thing with trading is like you can double up your account pretty quick. So like if you're losing though, you can lose it all pretty quick. So like you need to really figure out like, okay, what is my max pain on this stuff? Like what can I do to prevent this stuff? The second part, what is your trading plan? Every trader should have a business plan. I got a business plan of, hey, this is my goals. This is what I'm trying to do. This is my strategies. You wouldn't go to a restaurant and try to open a restaurant without a business plan. You wouldn't ask for a loan without a business plan. The same type of thing happens when you're doing the trading. Trading is a business. You're the CEO of a small business. You're the CEO of a small business. You're trying to grow that bad boy. So how do you grow? You got to have a trading plan. You got to put pen to paper. You got to go in and say, this is what I do. These are my goals. This is my strategy. And this is what I'm going to do day in and day out to make money. This is a job. Let me just tell you something about trading. It's a great job. I've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of success. I've had a lot of students that have success. I've had a lot of students that failed. I had my own times that failed. But the one thing that's always kept me going is I have a set business plan of rules, strategies, tactics, risk, goals of what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to accomplish. And it keeps me going. It just keeps me pointed, right? The North Star. And that becomes very, very important. So many traders just jump in. They jump in and they just turn their broker on. They got a couple bucks and they just make a trade. You ain't going to make any money like that, are you? Let me tell you about traders. They are traders, finance, business in general. The smartest, the most crooked, the most well-capitalized, the most well-connected people in the history of the world are in finance. They're smarter than you. They're better than you. They got more capital than you. They got more experience. They got better connections than you. They know how to cheat better than you. They got all the advantages of that stuff, right? So the only way you can beat that is to have a better plan, better discipline, better routines. There's edges in life. What I mean by edge is like, okay, how can I be better than another person? You can have an edge in strategy, right? So like I have certain strategies I use. I know I have an edge in them statistically. You can have an edge in discipline, meaning like, hey, I do my work when I'm supposed to work. I wake up before the next guy, work harder than the next guy, right? I can't be outworked. I can't be out hustled. I can't be broken. So that's an edge. You can have an edge in capital, right? Like I got more money than the next guy. It doesn't mean as much in trading, but in the beginning it does. If you got $200,000 to lose versus $200 versus to lose, that's an edge, right? It's pretty easy to lose a couple $100. It's a lot harder to lose $200,000. So that's an edge. So like this is your business in your business plan. These are things that you have to think about. What is my edge? Like how am I better than the next person? What can I do to utilize my talents to be better than the next person? It's not always just about who has the most money. You can have an edge in other stuff. I'll give you like my personal edge is I have more energy than almost 99% of people. So I'm awake before almost everybody. I stay awake after everybody. I know everybody's like all these like new self-help gurus where like you need 8 hours of sleep and all this kind of stuff. I never needed it. I haven't been sick since 1988. So that's an edge for me. The second part of my edge is like I'm very, very good at taking data and then turning it into strategies. So like I could find very, very odd nuances in the market that work and turn it into something. So that's my edge. So everybody has their edge. I got multiple other edges beyond like this beautiful face, dude. I got a fantastic face. I don't got any hair though. I wish I had hair. If I had hair, I wouldn't be in front of you guys, be in Hollywood. I'd be the next Ryan Gosling. I would have been married, Rachel McAdams. I would have been in The Notebook. And I also would have been in Die Hard. And I would have been Bruce Willis, even though he was bald. These are my goals. Trading plan. Now, do your strategies work? Bull, bear, range-bound markets. Second part. Thank you, Michael. I try. For an Indian man. I do what I gotta do. For an Indian man, I do what I gotta do. What tools are you gonna use? There's an edge in there too. I use TC 2000. There's a million other tools out there, but getting to know those tools, being able to utilize them is that's an edge in itself. It's like you can see like this like big contraption of stuff that I trade off of, right? Like this is called TC 2000. So like I have scans built in. I have charts built in. I have an ability to, at my fingertips, find what I need and then give me guidance on how I want to enter or exit them. So there's an edge right there. And this becomes very, very important. If you don't have the right tools, then what are you going to use? So I use TC 2000. By the way, you guys can have all these layouts and stuff. Any of you guys in here, you're more than welcome to kind of just hop on this stuff. I'm going to show you how to use this in a little bit. Hold on here. They have a free version, but it would be very, very limited. And they have like a $10 version that's actually fairly usable. And then they have like a $39 version that kind of gives you everything that you need. Those are the ways you want to go with this thing. Now, let's talk about setting expectations. Then we're going to go into different trading strategies I think that are going to work for you guys. Trading myths versus reality. Myths, you can make money from day one. That's actually a reality. You can. But at some point, you're going to lose it. It's just a part of life. We all get too cocky. We all get too cocky at some point and sometimes in our life. We all do it. And it happens even in trading. You may win. I've had students that like study, they're fantastic. They go in the simulator, they follow the process, and they start winning for like 6 months. But at some point, we get a little bit sloppy. Our standards get a little bit low. And we go in a slump. And sometimes they can be deadly. I've had other students that come in the program, they do everything the right way, and they start trading, and day one, they stink. They just stink. I mean, god-awful stink too, right? But it's a very smelly stink. And part of that is in expectations, though. They don't stink because they actually stink. The reason that a lot of the students that come through my program, at least, and I've noticed this through others, they're not very good in the beginning, is an expectations thing. You know, they got X amount of capital, X amount of experience. They want to make $1,000 a day. Like, oh shit. Like, hey, what do you make at your real job? I had a student of mine, fantastic trader. He made $250,000 his second year trade. And he had all these expectations. I go, David, he lives in Tampa. I go, Dave, Big Dave, what's going on? How much money were you making at your job? He's like, well, I was working at a fucking car. I was working at a car wash. I wasn't really making anything. So he was starting to gamble. He made this money and he was starting to get real loose. I'm like, what kind of money were you making, at your job? He's like, well, I was at a car wash. Something like, $10 an hour. I'm like, so you're telling me you're willing to piss $1,000 a day away because you want more? That happens. I have so many traders come in and it's like, okay, I need to make $5,000 a day. It's like, huh? That's big boy stuff, right? You're just starting. So 99% of the people I've noticed come through my program, at some point during the day, they're up $100, $200. And then it becomes an expectation game. Is $100, $200 a day good? Well, if you're brand new, it is pretty good, right? $200 a day, 20 trading days in a month is $4,000. That pays your mortgage. It probably pays your mortgage and a car, right? Or 2 cars. Like, that's not a joke. But if you dumb it down, $200 a day is not very sexy. Like, if you look at it in a one-day basis, $200 a day is not sexy. But if you looked at it over the course of a month, $4,000 is no joke. It's something. Pays the bills. You still got your job. You're still learning, and you're brand new. That's your floor. But what happens is, what I've noticed is that so many students, they come in, they need to make $2,000, $5,000 a day because they saw it in the tweeter, or they saw it in the Instagrammers, or the book faces, and all that stuff. Those people that are usually posting that, they're liars. They liars. You think really some 22-year-old kid that's got acne and braces, like he's like making, like he turned $500 into $2 million? There's no chance. It's a statistical improbability that borders on impossibility. But that's what happens. We see other people and we think like, okay, this is what I need to do. What we need to do is always think about, okay, how can I make $100 a day? How can I make $200 a day? That's actually not that hard to trade. It's something you can build on. It's something you can build on, but it's still good money. And you build on it. Second part is you can learn how to trade from books, DVDs, YouTube videos. There's a lot of complication in this business. And what I mean is that you have to see a trade, you have to see a market from all the angles. Right now, the market is a lot different than January. If you saw in January, everybody's getting rich. People are just, you can see people off the street like YOLO in stocks making money. They lost all that money the last few months because the market actually has been going up. But all the shitty YOLO stocks, all the risky stocks, all the crappy stocks, every single one of them gone down. The stocks that everybody was like really, really making a lot of money on, they've been going down. So like, like we used to trade these things. Like this is a electric scooter company, right? Well, electric scooter company sounds fantastic when the market is really hot, right? Now it's come all the way back down. This one is actually an electric tricycle company. No joke. It went from $2, $13 all the way back down. All right. CCIV. This is a company that people thought would be the next Tesla. Right? This thing went to 65 bucks all the way back to 20. Markets change. At some point, yeah, markets are so hot that everything goes up, but that's like a once in every couple day kind of thing, couple years kind of thing. So you can't learn how to trade from books, DVDs, some random YouTube videos. Those are nice additions. They're addendums to what you're learning in a structure of education, but they're just pieces of a puzzle. Not a big myth. You can trade with a magic indicator. No indicators help make money. Let me just tell you something. No indicators help make money. Indicators, I use indicators. Like if you look at my charts, I have indicators on them. But I don't base my trades off of them. An indicator is used to give you confirmation of a price move. It's used to give you an idea of what can give a stock an extra push, meaning that all trades are based off price action. An indicator is there for confirmation. All indicators are used for is to confirm if there's a trend or not. That's it. All indicators are there to confirm if there's a trend or not. Most indicators are actually give false signals. There's a handful that work, but most indicators give false signals. Their indicator business is huge because it's a business. You'll have trading educators out there that say, like, my magic indicator will tell me X, Y, Z. And so that you buy their class, you buy their stuff. Look at it like this in TC done. Look at all these indicators. Don't know what that is. By the way, I've been trading. My first trade I ever took was in 1999. Don't know what this is. Don't know what this is. Look at all this stuff. Indicators. Like it's a nonstop parade. Leading indicators, lagging indicators. I mean, in the end, price action always pays. Indicators are used to confirm. Hey, like I have this idea, then you can use your indicators to confirm whether that price pattern is real. But you can't use an indicator to figure out if you want to buy or sell something. Biggest trading myth is you can follow someone else's trade and be a successful trader. That's the worst. You even join a chat room. I got an awesome chat room. We got a chat room. I mean, it's an awesome chat room. I've got a crypto room. We got a swing trade room for people that want to do longer trades. And then I have my day trade room. Now, the swing trade room, like, okay, this you can follow because the swing trade is a slow trade, right? So it's a slow trade. It's going to take weeks at a time. So if Paul says, like, hey, I'm going to have 50 shares of Roku, well, those are going to be, trades you can follow because they're slow. They're going to take weeks at a time. But like in day trading, like, when I'm day trading, if you notice this, look at this, like, we're coming in hot on these things, coming in fast, right? Like, okay, so it's 934. I shorted this at 209. It was still within the same minute. Like I was already taking some profits off stuff, right? So like the day trading is very fast. You can't necessarily just follow somebody blindly because they told you to. One of the things that, and this happens more in the small cap world, you have these gurus that claim they make all this money, right? So their whole business is based on like people following their trades. Nobody can follow somebody's trades. I trade pretty damn fast. I trade like, I trade like somebody that's been doing this their whole life. But like, I don't slow my trades down so like other people can follow, because then the trade wouldn't be any good. So that's not going to work. But I trade mostly regular stocks. I trade, I'll trade $10, $15 stocks, $100 stocks, $200 stocks, whatever it takes. But like, I stay away from the, pennies and $2, $1 kind of things. Those are meant for one reason. If anybody's ever interested in this stuff, those are meant for one reason. They're called pump and dump. Pump and dump. Well, John, you'd be getting them if I did, wouldn't you? You'd be getting them. If you get them, then I do. Pump and dump. This is how it works. Don't ever fall for it. Stock's at $2. XYZ. Trading guru, most likely he's very ugly. He's probably got glasses. He's kind of a dork. And that's actually part of, so the trading guru thing. So, when I started, part of like our trading guru thing was we wanted to look cool. We want to look cool. We want to have muscles. Like, we want to look like men. We want to drive sports cars, have some women. And that was our thing. That was like, part of our advertising, but it's also just how we live. Now the new trading guru thing, and this is where these are real predators. These are probably rapers for all we know. The new trading guru thing is like, I look like a dork. I've got glasses. I'm like speaking like a nice guy. I farm tomatoes. Like they really got a nice thing going. And so what happens is you're like, oh my gosh, like this guy looks like a loser. Like I can trust him. And that's how they get you. So what they'll do is you have a $2 stock. They'll alert it. You'll buy, and it starts to spike, and then they sell it, and then it tanks. And this is like across the board, right? Like this is not just like one guy. It's like a whole thing. This is like a millennial thing, right? It's cool to be like not cool. I didn't know that was a thing. I come from a different world, right? But I didn't know that was a thing. But the new thing, and this is how they're getting you, they're going to come across as dorks. They're probably going to have a wife. They show their kids. They're going to be like, oh, look at my kid. Like he's also not cute, right? And they're going to be there and just hanging. Right? And you'll be like, look at this guy. He's got a kid. He's got glasses. Look, he's like, he farms tomatoes. This guy's a nice guy. Like he trades $1 stocks because it's great. It's good for you. It's not. It's not. Always remember. Now, the reality of trading, it takes months to years to master trade. It is. Just like if you were picking up any sport, or if you were lifting weights or whatever it might be, it doesn't happen in a month, 2 months. This is a multi-month process. It takes months to learn what I do, and then it takes years to build expertise. Now, in those months, in between the months to years, yes, you can still make some money. But you won't make as much money as the guy that pumps and dumps. Right? You make endless money. You can make money in between the months to years. But to get that true excellence, I'm talking about, right? Your Obi-Wan Kenobi trade. Star Wars reference. That'll take a while. When you trade without thought. Now, you can shorten your learning curves, but in the end, like you still have to go through some of the same processes. There's no shortcuts. A couple things that do help: live mentoring, meaning it's not YouTube videos or DVDs. You may notice, like, people say, like, get my trading DVDs, and you don't even get a DVD anymore. Like, I'd be expecting a fucking package, right? Like, where are the packages at? The DVDs are just end up you being like private YouTube videos. That's false advertising, right? And no, get learn from DVDs because they're not even DVDs anymore. And nobody has DVD players. I don't got one. I got 2 TVs here. I don't got no DVD. But you need live mentoring. That's always the case. You need to be able to treat your trading like a lawyer. You want to build cases. What I mean by that is you got to start piling on multiple skill sets to get good at trading. You want to pile on multiple skill sets to get good at trading, meaning you have to have edges and then you're going to have strategy. So let's go into some strategies that I think could be a good way to start trading, at least for me personally, right? So let's talk about let's just talk about a little bit of strategy. How we can get this party going. So first of all, there's things that you need to be able to start trading. There's going to be things that you need. Hold on here. Sticky notes. All right. So what are the things that we need to start? All right. So you're going to need a charting platform. Charting platform. What I mean by charting platforms, I use technical analysis. Technical analysis, the understanding of charts, the understanding of price patterns to pinpoint to the penny when you're supposed to buy or sell. It seems weird, right? But there are times where, especially for those of you guys that already watch me trade in the Discord room, which is open to all of you guys. When I'm hot, usually when I buy a stock, like it's at an inflection point where it's going to explode. But to get to that point, you need a charting platform. So I use TC2000. All right. You can use whatever you want. There's FinViz, and I've seen some people use this trend spoofer thing. Who knows? I've seen some people use FinViz, this trend spoofer, equity feed, thinker crap. Thinker crap is probably the worst out of the group, but people use them. There's thinker crap, TC2000, trend spoofer, equity feed. FinViz is free, so that's a semi-decent one. You could use stockcharts.com. So there's a handful of them. Stockcharts.com, trend spoofer, give or take, who knows what they're called. Thinker crap, commonly known as Think or Swim. There's bar charts. Now, bar charts looks very dot matrixy. It looks very 1980s. There's a chart mill too. That's also, I want to say that's 1980s, but that's like a 90s look. Bar charts is an 80s look. Thinker crap is like a spacey, like if you went to space and the sun exploded. So supernova explosion. Thinker crap is, you know what thinker crap is made for? Is to take like new traders and be like, oh, look at all these bells and whistles. And you can watch CNBC on there. And you can play Tetris on there. That's no joke. You can watch. So it's like a charting platform and you can trade on there, right? It hooks up to Ameritrade. But they let you watch CNBC on there. And you can also play fucking Tetris on there. Like, hey guys, my free platform. Oh, make your trades. Have this epic charting platform and scanning. And by the way, play Tetris and watch CNBC. Oh, and also grab a hookah and some nice espresso while you're at it. Come on. I ain't falling for that stuff, right? I ain't falling for that stuff. And it also slows your computer down a lot. It takes up a lot of gigs of RAM. I got 64. No, I just upgraded. I got 64. So what's 64? 128 gigs of RAM. all this kind of fun stuff in this computer. That Thinkorswim will still slow you down. It'll slow you down. Unless you use a MacBook. You can have the shittiest MacBook in the world, and it's faster than the best Windows computer in the history of the world. I don't know why that is. I got like a $7,000 Windows computer for my trading stuff. Slower than my 2013 MacBook. Go figure. Thinkercrab does one okay on the MacBook, though. So these are different ones. I use TC2000 just because my mentor told me to use it, and I'm used to it, but also it's got all the bells and whistles that I need in terms of being able to run scans, but also being organized. Like I can search for news and run scans and do fundamental stuff, whatever I need to do. So it's just a little bit of a different thing. So you need a charting platform, all right? Second part, you need a broker. All right, so there's different brokers. You got E-Trade, you got Ameritrade, I got and I call it Ameritrade, it's Ameritrade, but I have multiple accounts there, so I ain't hating on it, but they do stink. I have accounts there, I ain't gonna lie, I'm in their system, but they stink. Now, these are grandfathered accounts that I opened in like 2001, but I got them and I use them because they're free trades, but they are Ameritrade. If you remember, like when the coronavirus hit, you were in Ameritrade. Guess what happens? What was happening in the coronavirus crash? What was happening? The coronavirus crash in Ameritrade. Well, the platform was freezing every day. First 30 minutes were all the actions. Platform was just freezing. Trades weren't executed. The thing is, when now that you have free commissions, it's like they don't give a shit because you're not paying them, so they don't care. If you got Ameritrade, you got Interactive Brokers. Interactive Brokers, I noticed, doesn't really shut down much, but they do have the worst interface. So the Interactive Brokers has the best executions, and they never shut down, but they have the worst interface, meaning it ain't a beauty like this. It's going to look more like, like if you go to like your grandpa's house, he's got like the Pentium 84, the Pentium 2 from like 1986. He's like running Leisure Suit Larry on it. It's going to look like that. It's got terrible interface, great executions, good shorts, but they also charge commissions. That's the trade-off. So they got terrible interface, but they got good execution, good shorts, but they charge commissions. I haven't tried the Webull, so I don't know if I can't like personally speak on it just because I haven't tried it. I hate being that guy that has like an opinion on something and he's never even tried it. I haven't heard anything bad about Webull. I just don't know. So you got Ameritrade, and you got Schwab, which is kind of more like a blog. You get your Fidelity, so on and so forth. So I use E-Trade Ameritrade primarily, and I keep a couple specialty accounts for shorting at like some more specialty brokers. But I don't know if you even need those anymore. Like it's probably not. If I was foreigner, if I'm foreigner, I'd probably go Trade Zero. Trade Zero or Interactive Brokers. Trade Zero is going to be free. They're going to have really good shorts. I'd probably just roll with the Trade Zero, to be honest. All my Canadian students use Trade Zero. If you're in Canada, Trade Zero is the hot spot. If you're in Europe, Trade Zero is really good too. I haven't used Tastyworks either, and to be honest, like the reason I haven't used Tastyworks is like anybody ever watched like the podcast of the two Tastyworks guys? You don't look trustworthy. You don't look. The guy wears a beret. I ain't trusting no guy with a beret. No, wait. Guy's got a beret. Beret, whatever you want to call I ain't trust no. I'm not trusting any broker with the CEO wears a beret. Can't do it. This is America. I got rules here. They say France. We got rules here. So we got TC 2000. We got our broker. All right. Now, what we need is, what do you need after a charting platform and a broker? What's the most important thing you need? Besides the stones to make it happen. Tina, that's true. Tina Marenshot, what are you doing in here? What else do you need? Sure. Yeah, these all will come with the broker, right? We need a trading strategy. We need a trading strategy. We need something that gives us an edge. Right? So trading strategy, like what and how that would work is like we need to be able to do something that gives us an edge. Like how do we make some money? What are the rules of entry, exit? You know, so much of trading is so ambiguous, right? But like what we need is a recipe. I need a recipe for action. How do I get in this bad boy? How do I find a stock? So trading strategy comes into a handful of things. Number one, how to find stock. All right? How to find stock. How do I find the next heater? Something with momentum. Two. Okay. How do I find a stock? Okay. Identify. Price pattern. Okay. So I got a list of stocks that could work. They've got momentum. How do I identify the price pattern? Now, the price pattern is going to be dependent on whether you're swing trading or day trading. There's going to be different price patterns. Okay. So identify price patterns for these. Okay. Three. How do I pick an entry? Four. Pick stop loss. Where do I manage? Does everybody know what a stop loss is? And if I'm like totally over all your heads, by the way, I apologize. How to pick a stop loss? Stop loss is just an order that says like, hey, if it goes below this level, I will sell. Wow. Where do I sell? Position size. How to optimize perfect sizing so you're big in high probability trades and small in low probability trades. Essentially what that means is when the stones are lined, when can you go in with conviction and when do you not to? Position sizing is the art form of trading. When do you go in big versus when do you go in small? When do you push in your chips and say like, hey, this is my chance, versus when don't you? Now, even when we push in our chips, our risk is always small. So for example, if I stop out of a trade of mine, I lose 1% of my account. Whether I'm all in my account or a small portion of my account, if I stop out of the trade, I lose 1% of my account. So I could have all my capital in the world in the trade, but if it goes against me, I lose 1% of my account. So like what that allows me to do is say, if I identify a unique opportunity, I can be in big. I can be in very big. But if it goes against me, I just say, fuck it. I lost 1% of my account. So if my stop loss is 10% Y, 15% Y, I lose 1% of my account. So position sizing is an art form. It would take me days to really show you how to massage it. But you need to know and spend some time figuring out like when are your opportunities to go big versus when are your opportunities to go small. So you got charting platform, broker, trading strategy. All right. So now let's think about trading strategy. let's think about a little bit of trading strategy. So where can we go to say, okay, I've got a trading strategy that will work for me. So if I'm a day trader, I'm going to have XYZ trading strategy. And if I'm a swing trader, I'm going to have a different trading strategy. So what we need to do is figure out, okay, what are we trying to accomplish? So if I'm a swing trader, so let's start with like just a swing trader lifestyle. Who here is a swing trader? Good, man. Good. And just so I know, so I can send my scans in and all this stuff, who's coming in to our next boot camp class, our next 60-day boot camp? I need you guys to send me an email at TC on my TC mail. Omar will show you how to do it, so you can have your scans and stuff. You guys don't have to like make your stuff look like this. I've got everything already all set up, so you can literally come. You come in and I got all the scans, the filters, the news, everything I need. Panak, I get you. Make sure. So I got different layouts and stuff like that, but I'll make sure to get that to you guys tonight. So if anybody's just coming in the next boot camp class, let me know. I will 100% get those to you by the end of the night. If I could turn back time, if I could find a way. All right, so we need a trading strategy. Let's get one going. Let's get one going. All right. So let's go into, hold on here, let me grab my sticky notes. All right, let's go into trading strategy. Let's talk about a swing trading strategy. All right, swing trading strategy is going to be something that you'll for 3 to 5 days. You're looking for 20% plus move, ideally. Tight risk. DSO 9076. Make sure you send me a name or something with that, because you can't send the scans to an email. It just doesn't work. Or not on TC1000. But I've been making scans for like literally years. Guys, any scan you can think of, 200 SMA, swing trade, investing, I've made them. I got them all in. Yeah, I got easy scans and, all sorts of kind of fun stuff. I've been building it, but all our students and, all you guys all have access to these, but, and you won't need to use all these, by the way. I make different stuff for different times and different market conditions. And, I would say in general, I probably use about 10. So let's talk about flat top break. All right. So I've been doing this flat top breakout pattern a lot. Anybody know what flat top breakout is? Flat top breakout is the easiest trading pattern you can learn. And the reason it's so easy is because it's simple to identify. Now, no trade is easy. I should, take that back. No trade is easy, because when money is on the line, obviously things go to shit. But the setup, why this setup is powerful, is that it is based on pure momentum and explosion, but it's easy to identify for the new trader. But it also gives you clearly defined reward to risk levels where you know exactly the rules of the trade, right? You know what to do. And I think that's the most important part. Like when you're a new trader, the ability to know what to do when you're in a trade and have like actual rules that you can follow is huge. Because like how many times, like when you're new, you get into a trade and then you're like, what's next? Where do I sell? Like what happens if it goes down? Like, so on and so forth. You have so many questions. You don't really know what to do. But this will allow you to get in with very defined rules. So I think it's a very powerful pattern because it does provide explosion, but beyond explosion, it's going to give you a little bit of juice in terms of percentage return. So what we're looking for is a trending stock. And I have a scan for all this, fun stuff. So I want to find a trending stock, meaning for 90 days, stock, crypto, whatever. Obviously, Forex doesn't move more than 1% at a time. So, really it's going to be stocks or cryptos, maybe futures a little bit. Well, for 90 days, stock crypto up 30% or more. Most of the time, it's going to be a little bit more than that. Then we want minimum 1 month consolidation under the 90-day high. All right, so it went up for 90 days, 30% more. Under that high, 1 month consolidation under the 90-day high. Range to build with no distribution. Oh, my 9 EMA curling up under the breakout to get confirmation. That's not gonna make any sense right now. All right. So what I mean by this is like your classic. This is like your classic breakout. So I'll give you kind of prime time example. We're in this thing right now. Whoa. So flat top breakout is going to look literally like there's a tabletop on top of a stock or a coin. So like this is Litecoin. All right. We have cryptocurrency chat room. It's open to all you guys. It's free. Actually, you guys already all have access to it in the Discord. So you got 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, 4 tests. So you see this 239 level? Like it's been. What does it look like? It's a tabletop right on this stock. So what happens is, as the 9 EMA is curling up under that breakout spot, what it allows you to do is limit the risk, and it gives you a very, very powerful setup. So like this is something like when it usually pops over, it can be very, very explosive. So like I ended up adding this thing a little bit under the breakout spot 235. Just because that was when I was staring at the computer because it happened on a Saturday. And then my risk was, maybe 10 points, give or take. So like now you can see like this thing's at 270 and we're just starting a move, but it looks literally like a tabletop on top of a particular name. So this is the most simple setup you can do, but it's very, very powerful. This is actually, I'm still in some of this. Same thing. This is a tabletop setup. 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, 4 tests, 5 tests, 6 tests. So like, see how like it keeps testing that level? Do you guys see like that level that's been holding? Yes. And I use Binance for cryptocurrencies. I find it's the best one to use. You get the most access to coins. First of all, you don't have to go in and have huge accounts for this stuff. I added like 2,000 shares of this, 13, put my stop under the 9 EMA, risk like 70 cents. Right? But you got 1 test, 2 tests. See how like it keeps testing this level? When it breaks over it, you get that like huge explosion. And they happen fast. Like this thing goes from 13 to 20 within a couple days. Like it's when it can get really close. This is what I'm in right now. Very, very similar pattern. 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests. No PDTs. Test, 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 test. See that area right there? So when it breaks, I buy 0.97. I put my stop loss at 0.92. So I'm risking 0.05, it's a 9-cent stock, right? Or 9-cent coin. So it's less, about a half a penny, give or take. So I bought, and once again, like you don't have to go crazy. I bought a couple 100,000 shares of this, so about $20,000 into it. Boom. Test, 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 go. Check this one out. I'm in this one right now. Oh man, oh man. All right, same type of deal. Test. Fuck, this thing could explode, by the way. That thing has got a chance, by the way. Link Nation, what do you got here? Test, test, test. 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, 4 tests. 9 EMA curls for the girls coming up out of the kitchen. This thing's got a chance for explosion. Same thing in stocks. Like this is what we do. And this is what we do. This pattern, guys, is something that you will use for years. Like it's something you'll use for years. You can use it right now, any day, anytime. Good. Yes, Mara would have been an example. Somebody just mentioned this. Mara is something that we're currently in, and it's done multiple of these kind of flat top breakouts. So this 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, right? 9 EMA curling up under it. Boom. Same type of deal, guys. Stocks, coins, they get their power from consolidation. They get their power from bases. Mana is something I'm stalking right now. Good. This pattern I've been using for a decade plus. Test, 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 test. 9 EMA curls for the girls. You ain't gonna make some money off that bad boy. Why 95% of traders lose? They got poor risk management. They got FOMO. They can't handle the mental side of things. They always want to chase something. They always think something is going. Trading is just a computer game. What we need to get rid of is all that stuff. They got bad timing with entries and exits. You don't know when to actually enter. So I just show you this pattern, right? Tap, tap, tap. But you got that, the 9 EMA curls for the girls. So that's like a very, very specific way of entering. I want to enter when the trend line breaks, but only if the 9 EMA is curling up under. So I have like a specific rule sequence for it. Now, that's one trade. I have multiple setups, obviously, but I want to have like perfect timing on it. The thing that happens when you don't have perfect timing on your trades is you end up like a stock ends up going or a coin ends up going and you buy it and then it comes down. So then you sell it. But when it comes down into a buy spot. So then it goes up. So then you buy it. And then you bought it too high. So then it comes down. So you sell it. Then it goes up and you buy it. Anybody ever do that? We called it the spin cycle of despair. Bad timing, bad entries. You chase it. Chasing is the easiest thing to solve in trading, though. When you have specific risks and specific rules for everything that you do and it governs all your behavior, then it's very easy to stop bad timing and bad entries. But you have to have a checklist for every single type of trade that you do. A specific rule sequence of what you're trying to accomplish. Emotional influence, friends, family, expectations, your job, your dreams. That's probably the number one ruiner of traders. When you start getting into like, oh man, I need to make this happen. Things can go weird, right? When you surround yourself with, right, friends that are negative. They're right to say it. Like I'm from Michigan, outside of Detroit. I got my 3 best friends. They work with me. They're winners. Almost everybody else I met, losers. Now I go home. I love them all. But if I had stayed there, I mean, good Lord, I'd probably be working in a Ford factory doing quality control as the token Indian guy. All right? Like, you don't get away from what's holding you back. It ain't going to be, don't be that token Indian guy. We don't want to do that. Emotional influence is really crazy. In the end, we're not trading stocks. We're trading our hopes and dreams. Isn't that what we're really doing? And once we start doing that, like, it can get in our way. So what we need to do is always have a rock solid system so that when we do have that inkling of our hopes and dreams come in, like it doesn't put too much over influence on it. Look, to this day, like, man, I got dreams, right? Like I got stuff I want to do. And that can creep up in your trading. Like, like, yeah, I want to go buy this, or I want to do this, or I want to do this for my mom or my dad, or I want to, XYZ, whatever. I want to quit my job. Yeah, that stuff creeps up in your trading. The only way to get past that is like if your system that you're trading with is like so rule-based, so rock solid, that you know exactly what you're doing at all times, then you know what? That stuff won't matter. Like, the expectations and all this stuff, you got something that you need to do. And then, of course, one of the worst things I wouldn't say this is the number one thing that gets people, but it's the easiest thing that you can counteract, which is your poor preparation. You don't know what to do every day. Most people don't. I wake up in the morning, I get very specific, right? I get a very specific routine I do in the morning. I scan for gappers. I look for the news plays. I look for the earnings plays. I see what the market's doing. I see what overseas, whatever. I get like a very, very specific sequence of things that I do. And I've been doing that for 10 years plus. So what that allows me to do is like, I'm doing it without thought, but I also have a specific way of I'm getting ready for the day and finding the stocks I want to trade and building out my plans. And there's not any deviation to it. Sure, I always, improve on it and I always look for ways to do it, but in general, it's 95% of it's the same thing. But like the poor preparation, some of it, like, 20% of traders are just lazy. But a lot of traders, they're not, the other 80%, they're not lazy. They just don't know exactly what to do to prepare. A big part of like what I do, I get a very specific sequence of things that I like to do with TC 2000. And it doesn't take long. I would say about 20 minutes a night, 30 minutes a night. But I go through my liquid gainer scan. I go through my top loser scan. I go through my 90-day momentum scan. I start flagging these things and putting them on a list. I go back through them. So I got just a specific sequence of things that I do that helps me get ready. And when you have that, then you can start to build out consistency because you've got a system of what you're going to do. So how to join the minority that actually make money? You want to build a risk management strategy. You need a trading system, a rule-based system. You need checklists for everything. You don't have to work off the checklist forever, but for a couple months you will. Then at some point you toss it away, right? It's like back in the day when we used to use the map quest to get around. Anybody remember that? Yeah, on your map, right? You're trying to get directions somewhere. Once you do it a couple times, you know where to go. You want to treat your trading like a business. We're going to work on our journaling, our trading psychology. We start small with great expectations. Hey, I'm trying to make $100 a day, $200 a day. And then I build on it. It doesn't mean that's what you're going to do and that's where you're going to be. That's where you want to build on it. But we don't play for home runs. This ain't a lotto ticket. Win the grind every day. I never have any days I take off trading. Never. It's fun. It's amazing. I love it. Like when I go on vacation, I still trade for a little bit. Yeah, I don't trade all day. I trade for an hour or two. Make some money. I take off. You ain't got to do it all day. But trading is an amazing thing. We do it every day. This is our life. But that's how you build it as a business. But no home runs. Lay on the attack all day. Learn to cut losses quickly. I've got a specific way based on the pattern that I'm trading. And by the way, that 9 EMA pattern that I was doing, all you want to do is where the 9 EMAs, add about half a candle's worth of room under, so just to handle the shakeouts, and you're good to go. Fuck, this thing is hot, dude. Look at this thing. be a heater. Yeah, see this thing? Oh man, look at this dodge coin. What do you got here? Oh fuck. Look at this thing. Woo! Test. Test. See that 90 macros for the girls coming up out of the kitchen? They don't look like much, but this is about a 40 to 50% move right there. We got to do it. We got to do it. So where do I go next to begin my trading career? Matic is hot, by the way. I got 280,000 shares of that thing. 280,000 coins of that thing. 0.39. So where do you want to go next? Well, university style setting. I do 20 live classes, 3 days a week. 200-page course book. 20 live classes. Weekly homework, trading assignments. I give you all my trading layouts, scans, charting layouts. I even show you how to set up all the brokers, make sure all the buttons are looking right. I set everything up for you. You have lifetime access to my stuff. I got people in my class. So what boot camp are we on, guys, next? Oh, some of you guys are already in the webinar. 53, 54, 60-day boot camps. Think about how many days I've been teaching class. A lot more. It's a very long time. 53 60-day boot camps. I've been teaching classes for 3,000 days. This is what I do. This is what I do. You know what I mean? This is what I do. 60 days, 53 boot camps. This is what I do. My business is to take traders and take them where they need to go. The beauty of boot camp is a 53, boot camp 53, there will be people from boot camps 3, 4, 5, 8, from almost a decade ago that pop in and say hi. You know, come and ask questions. You can retake boot camp as many times as you want. Because you know what? At some point, life gets in the way. You're going to have some kids. You're going to get some new jobs. Or you just want a refresher. I got a couple students of mine that are like professional traders that are just like killers for boot camp 1. They come in. Every single boot camp. They say hi. You know, they're not sitting there obviously taking notes and stuff. But it's just part of what they do. They know what days I'm on. It's at 8 o'clock. They turn their laptop on and they watch class. Like it never ends. The learning never ends. It's the same material. They've seen it 54 times. Of course, I change the charts and, I change a little bit of the stuff of what's happening newly in the world, but they still come in. And I want them to come in. I think that's a big part of it. Now, on the other side of things, I got a chat room. Right? And you guys got to access this. So I'm trading in front of my guys. I know this is really intimidating, by the way, but in the morning, I put a link out. You watch me trade live. Why is that important? Book knowledge is nice. Yeah, we all need to read books, right? We should go to school. I'm a big believer in that. But you need to watch me trade live. You need to marry what we learn in the books and in class and take it to real time. More important than that, you need to see, can this actually really be done? When you watch me shred every day, and there's days I lose too, right? But when you watch it, we talk about when I lose, it's like, hey man, this is where I screwed up. But when you get to see that every day, you are connecting that book knowledge to that real-time knowledge. But also you have the credibility, like, hey, he's making money right now. I saw this. Okay, I can do that. And then you know what? We got a crypto room and swing. You have access to all this stuff. I've been killing it. These are very short trades. LTC sold 267, right? My long at the other day, 234. Vet, I sold half at 12.5. Right? sold half at 12.5. Like I added this thing in. Where do we add this bad boy? Look at some of these things. ONT, I've been long since 129. Quantum, 777. It's like we've been on the shredders on these things. I trade in front of my guys. I put out the alerts. I do everything, good or bad, good or bad. And we talk about them. We do market recaps where I talk about the trades and what we did right or wrong. I think that's probably the best part of, what we do is, I screw up all the time. I don't screw up because of strategical mistakes. Sometimes like maybe I was a little antsy, I made a mistake, whatever. We talk about every trade I take so that you're able to learn from it. I mean, there are days we do recaps and it's like I feel like a hero, And then there's days I feel like a chicken. But more often, I feel like a hero. Whatever. There's no such thing. But like our bootcamp module page is awesome. By the way, just put in your email or phone number if you want to have a call with me or you want some information. We have payment plans and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to get you guys in. If you want to learn how to trade, I will get you in this class no matter what. I will figure a way out. But we got all this stuff in the back end. Quizzes, homework. You have lifetime access to this, by the way. Like you can come in and rewatch, retake. You can rewatch the old boot camps, all that kind of fun stuff. I got it all set up for you guys where if you got work, you got work. It's going to be there. After class, I think this is an amazing thing that all traders should do. Most of the trading community has picked up on it from me. I was the first one that put people on a trading simulator in all of the education market for day trading. Once class is done, we put our students on a simulator. We have them upload trades. We see what they're doing. We start monitoring it and fixing it. And that's that small thing right there is what you can't get on YouTube. That's what you can't get on the YouTube. That's what you can't get on the DVDs. When you upload those trades, have a peer or another student look at them, or your teacher look at them, or a moderator look at them, and they give you feedback on what you can do better. That's how you get better, right? That's what coaching is. It ain't about watching some YouTube videos. Coaching is coaching, and it involves two people. And I think that's going to be very, very important. So remember, we got live interactive classes, trade recaps. You get access to my layouts, scans, broker layouts. I'll fix all that stuff for you. You get access to my chat rooms, interactive quizzes and learning tools. We build trade plans. We got all that stuff. And then, by the way, you all have access. Everybody got my number anyways. You call me anytime. I got a personal relationship with, I would say 75% of my students. There's 25% that this is